Aquarius, welcome to April. This is Gwendolyn. Welcome back to the channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome. This video is going to be a monthly Tarotscope for Aquarius for April. And as I'm shuffling here, I'm using the Vision Quest deck. It's got Native American symbolism and imagery. And in the opening 2 weeks of April, we still have the remaining bit of this Mercury retrograde in Aries. So what that means is, in addition to the regular Mercury retrograde stuff where communication has a tendency to go haywire, things seem to go backwards a little bit, it's a good time to just revise and review things. And in this case, I'll say get some R&R, some rest and relaxation, because in the sign of Aries, things can get really agitated really fast. So Aries is the sign of the warrior, and Aries in a positive side of, or Aries in a positive light is the warrior who accomplishes things. You know, it's constructive fire. It's fire that's harnessed in terms of enthusiasm and passion and breaking through boundaries and all the things that help initiate things into action. But when a planet is going backwards through a sign, often we see the lower forms of that sign, which for Aries can be aggression and anger, volatility, outbursts. So as we go through these first 2 weeks of April, be aware of not getting involved in unnecessary anger, unnecessary agitation, you know, the fire on the surface of the water. Don't get involved in other people's dramas or frustrations. See, the opportunity in the first 2 weeks of April is to really see if you can maintain your calm and grace and composure while fires are raging around you. So I think we're seeing a lot of that in our environment. And really it's a choice to either throw gasoline on the fire or to, you know, not add to it, to maintain our grace and composure walking through the fire. So let me see what's coming up for Aquarius here. As we get to the middle of the month, we will have a new moon in Aries, and Mercury will go direct again. So that is when that Aries energy will be much more constructive, when we can begin to implement the ideas that we get during the first few weeks here and start taking action on things. So let's see what's coming up for Aquarius. You've got the Sun along with 2 of fire. Sun is such a positive card that even when it comes up in reverse, it's saying, you know, maybe there's only 80% of it available. Maybe it's behind a cloud or two, but the Sun is all about radiance. It's all about integration, feeling joyful, feeling happy. Some of you Aquarians, I get the sense, are so happy that spring is finally here, and I'm just getting you going outside and celebrating, or really beckoning it to come. So it's when all the birds and the flowers begin to emerge, and we as ourselves emerge. So I guess a question with it in reverse is there anything that's preventing you from emerging fully, Aquarius, at the beginning of April? Are you just in a place of just needing to hibernate for another week or two until you can emerge like the Sun? And as the Sun is getting more and more time throughout the day, we get more of that energy too, this vital, optimistic, passionate, radiant energy. So just allow that in, you know, throw back those curtains, Aquarius, because it's coming. It's on its way. And it's really a time of joy, a time of celebration. When you think of the Sun, it's got all of those connotations to it. It means shining forth brightly, being radiant, being celebratory, being joyful, having your day in the sun. Is there anything that's causing you to not have your day in the sun, Aquarius? Because it's here. It's just waiting for you to remove any doubt, fear, or resistance to having that day in the sun. Let's see what else is coming up. I see next is 2 of fire. This is sometimes difficulty in making a decision. Maybe some of you are having challenges in deciding between something. that is holding back the sun, you know, just not allowing that sun to come. It's funny here with the sun behind a cloud, I'm really getting the sense that this decision is what is not allowing your sun to shine completely fully yet. But you can look at this. This card often depicts, in this card it's called will. So it's a decision. What do you want? Where are you going to apply your attention? Because wands, which is symbolized by arrows here, usually represents where the energy is at, where the focus and the attention is at. Do you want to focus on one thing or another? Do you want to take something in this direction or another? Where is your will being directed, Aquarius? Because that is what will determine this radiant, joyful decision. So if you're having difficulty with making a decision, one of the things that can help is in this card, it's usually depicted as a man holding the world in the palm of his hands. So feeling like the world is at your fingertips, feeling like the world is your oyster, that you have the world in the palm of your hands, that anything is possible, that might help you open up this energy and make a decision. Am I going to go forward, or am I going to go in a different direction? Where do I want to go? Making fire, taking action. So it's possible that this is just dormant energy waiting for that middle of April to pass, from when the Mercury retrograde in Aries emerges. So some of you may be working on making a decision that's going to make you really happy, but it's not quite the time yet here at the beginning of April. I also see Ten of Earth, which is in this deck called Wealth. This is usually a card of inheritance. It's a card of financial stability, of stability within the family or partnerships. It's usually long-standing wealth, and it's the accumulation of wealth that comes from having made good decisions over time. With this in reverse, it's saying that there may be something that doesn't feel stable for you, or that you don't want the final. I'm kind of getting with it tied with this card, will, that you don't want something that's going to be permanent. You don't want to make a decision that's going to have permanent effects, especially if there are consequences to something. So that may be part of your dilemma here, is not wanting to affect something that messes up your money or that has consequences coming back that are unwanted. But you can take your time to make this decision. You can, I would say, wait till the middle of April anyway, especially before taking any action. And then I see integration here. This is 14, which is usually the card of feeling like all things are coming together. It's feeling creative. It's feeling like you have a sense of balance. And it's feeling like you've got the whole picture here. So if there's any difficulty in making a decision at the beginning of the month of where your joy is going to be at and not wanting difficult consequences, wait until you're a little bit more balanced and you have the full picture. And that's where you're going to get the nice results that you're looking for, like this woman has with the quilt here. That's available to you. And then in the middle of the month, it looks like we've got 7 of water, which here is depicted as excess. So sometimes this card means having a lot of options. I'm really getting that it means not being consumed by fantasy here. If there's any way, Aquarius, that you've been like deluding yourself or not considering that you have a lot of options, this card in reverse says that you're taking the rose-colored glasses off. You're taking the fantasy land off. You're seeing what are the real things here, these solid pots, versus what are the cracked pots. What is really a viable option versus this, what isn't really true or viable, what's not going to hold that water. So in terms of excess, I kind of see this card as being one of practicality in terms of evaluating what your real options are versus false ones. And that's usually what 7 of Cups is about, is examining options. And I see with it here in reverse that maybe the fantasy options, or you're going to be getting rid of those. Sometimes it's good to write down all your options on paper and then cross them off to eliminate ones that are not really viable or not really practical, not really real, or based in fantasy land. And you'll come out as a very good decision maker. This is the Father of Air, which is the King of Swords. And this is usually the person who has wisdom of experience. They stand with the truth. They're honest. They evaluate things from past experience that enables them to make very sound decisions. Swords, which is depicted as feathers here, it represents ideas, thoughts, wisdom, belief, all the things that lead to our mental process. And he's got all of those. You can see here on his on the stick that he's carrying and on his shield, there's lots of feathers there. He has lots of experience to draw from, and therefore makes a very wise decision because he's evaluated things thoroughly and used logic and analysis, which is very much how you Aquarians are. I mean, you are depicted here as the king of air, the king of thought. So whether male or female, this is showing you being very wise in your decision making at the middle of the month. So if there's something that you're struggling with, especially making a decision or taking action on something, wait till the middle of the month when you show up as King of Swords here, King of Air. That's really going to bring you a lot of insight and help you evaluate between what's a real option versus what's not a really great option, which is a solid pot that's going to hold the water versus what's a cracked pot that is going to drain it all away. Then here, also in the middle of the month, we have Six of Water in reverse, and we have the Daughter of Earth, which has to do with the Page of Pentacles. So this means taking your time. Page of Pentacles is willing to study and willing to learn. And with the Six of Cups here in reverse, we see all the water draining out of these pots. So I'm seeing it's a really great time to take stock and evaluation of what has worked for you in the past. Six of Cups is usually a card about the past, revisiting something from the past. Sometimes it's revisiting someone from the past. And with it here in reverse, I really see her kind of evaluating what has worked in the past, what has not worked in the past, what has drained me of my emotional energy, what has drained me of joy or pleasure, and how can I be practical and rational and reasonable and take my time so that I do end up with these fruits in my basket, so that I do end up with results that I enjoy and that I take pleasure in. It's kind of saying with the Six of Cups and the Seven of Cups in reverse, be careful of your decision making. You're going to be very solid in terms of being analytical and rational and reasonable, but think about what's practical, what's realistic. Maybe there's something to be learned from the past, and what drained you from the past is what I'm getting from these cards. So as you consider making this decision as King of Swords, look to your past for clues about what was draining for you, or what didn't hold water for you. What did you invest in that ended up draining away? And you can make a very practical, rational decision by just looking at that, by learning from past experiences. And then here towards the end of the month, I see Three of Fire, which is integrity. This means planning for your future. It means having a vision for what you'd like to do. Sometimes this card is called watching your ships come in. It's results from past endeavors. It's actually the card that follows this card. This is the Two of Fire and this is the Three of Fire. This could be the result from having made the decision. And it's in the upright. It's satisfying. It is looking towards the future, towards building something. Threes are creative cards, and it's usually a card about building your empire, looking at what you want to create in the future. And this is a really positive placement of it. It's saying you're reaping the benefits of a good decision. You're reaping the benefit. You're going forward into the future, and your ships are coming in from this decision that you've made based on sound thinking and considering what is going to be pleasurable to you, what is going to be sustaining for you or not. So this is kind of like saying you've made a good decision by staying true to your own integrity, your own thought process. And here it's followed by 7 of fire, which means defending your space. It means standing up for what you believe in. It also means success despite adversity. So if there has been challenges surrounding this decision or surrounding you standing up for yourself, this represents the torch that is kind of above all the other ones, that leads the way or stands up for what it believes. It's saying, you know, I'm willing to defend my space. It's called endurance here. So by pushing through and by not giving into your fears or your doubts or anything that is in your surrounding energy, especially as it has to do with fire, aggression, you know, anything like that, it just means standing your ground, defending your space, and then you get to enjoy this future thinking card. And I'm seeing it here as, looks like lavender, so it's sweet smelling too. Enjoy that. Enjoy, you know, sort of the sunset that you've created, the beautiful colors that you've created by making sound decisions. And then towards the end of the month, I do see this Father of Earth, the King of Coins in reverse, and I see 5 of Coins in reverse. So what this says is be careful about not being too stingy or greedy about something. When this guy is in reverse, he is usually like the person who's in control of the purse strings, but who isn't willing to. I think of him as like a rich man who doesn't donate to charity when it's being asked, or who's someone who's fearful about money. So this is sort of like Scrooge energy. And 5 of Coins means financial loss. It's called loss here, but it often means feeling left out in the cold. So be careful here at the end of the month. You may be dealing with a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. You know, like say if this is a boss. It may not be the best time to approach them regarding compensation. You know, if you're looking for a raise or something, towards the end of the month may not be a great time for that. Or there may be someone who is in a position of authority that takes advantage of that and causes financial loss. You'll remember from this card that, you know, you're looking at what will keep the water for you, not what will drain it away. So try to hold to your boundaries and defend your space so that those who are in an authority position don't end up draining you away from what you've accumulated. You kind of have to defend your territory, defend your space, and be on the lookout for stingy behavior, whether that's you or someone else in your environment. This can, acting like this, the King of Coins in reverse, being stingy and greedy even, can eventually lead to loss. So this also tells me don't go towards the end of the month, don't go for anything that looks like a get-rich-quick scheme. By trying to accumulate the money, you're going to end up losing it. So be solid and be careful with that sort of thing. You know, really keep an eye on where those boundaries are for you, and stay vigilant is what this card says, because you don't want to lose it all through trying to accumulate more, is what these say. So that is my reading for you, Aquarius, for April. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up or share it with another Aquarius. And if you'd ever like to book a personal reading with me, you can do that at my website, readingsbygwendolyn.com. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to put those in the comment section below, and I will look forward to doing a reading for you next month in May. Have a great month, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Yours in the stars.